What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Just finished watching the match, and Barcelona beat Cadiz 2-0 in their first home match of the season. First match at the Lluís Companys Olympic Stadium, and also the first win of the season, first goal scorer of the season. A lot of firsts in this match, but in the end, it was a hard watch. A lot of poor decisions from Xavi, and in the end, it was individual qualities that secured our first 3 points of the season. The starting lineup for this match is on the screen right now. It was Ter Stegen in goal, a back four, or we're gonna go through the personnel first. So the personnel was Ter Stegen, Jules Kounde, Frenkie de Jong, Christensen, Alejandro Balde, Oriol Romeu, Gundogan, Pedri, Lamine Yamal, Lewandowski, and Gavi. You can see here how we thought it was initially before the match in a 4-3-3 system. Maybe thought 4 in midfield with Gavi tucking in to the middle, but it was more so a 3 at the back. As you see here, it was a back 3 of Kounde on the right, usually Frenkie de Jong in the middle, off to the left, and Christensen. They were kind of interchanging a lot. Wing backs with Lamine Yamal and Alejandro Balde on the sides. Double pivot of Gundogan and Romeu, another 2 in front of them, and Pedri and Gavi, and then Lewandowski up top. Very, very weird formation. It looks like here Xavi was not really experimenting, but thought this was the formation to beat Cadiz, which is very, very strange in my opinion. But again, Xavi tinkering with the squad and seeing what's best suit for the players that he does have. Now, the first goal of the season was scored by Pedri, and again, it is Pedri Potter to come and save the day for Barcelona. We're talking, what, mid 70th minute, somewhere like 75th, 77, just before the 80th minute. Barcelona trying to break down the play. You had some link-up play with Lewandowski and Gundogan. Then Gundogan does a nice little 1-2 with Pedri, puts him in behind. Lewandowski, by the way, beautiful dummy run to attract 2 Cadiz defenders. Gives the space for Pedri. He gets there, toe pokes it under the keeper Ledesma's legs, and it goes into the back of the net and gives Barcelona the crucial lead. The second and final goal scored in this match was scored by Ferran Torres. It was a goal kick, ball over the top from the captain Marc-Andre Ter Stegen. Lewandowski then flicks it on to Ferran Torres, who is just, and I mean just, onside, through on goal, 1v1, bottom right hand corner, beats Ledesma, gives Barcelona the 2-0 lead and secures all 3 points. So overall, the team performance rating on the night, I'm going to be giving it a very generous, in my opinion, 7 out of 10. I was thinking 5s and 4s at halftime, but I've been generous with the players and with the team. They've gotten the win in the end. I think a lot of this match came down to the individual talent because Xavi's tactics were absolute shambles. Again, the 7 out of 10, of course, 3 points, clean sheet, 2 goals. Of course, those are the main objectives. And the second thing is to play well, although some people think the standard is to play well first before the result. Nonetheless, we got the result. That was the very most important thing. That first half was a very, very hard watch, I must say. I think that was one of the worst halves of football we've watched under Xavi. I felt like Ronald Koeman was the manager. It was that bad. Crossing it in every second, long balls over the top. It was not great. And the worst part is you're trying to play long balls over the top and crossing it against a team that's defensive, 4-4-2, low block, park the bus counterattack, where they have everyone back, and you're trying to, it's only just Lewandowski by himself in the box, trying to win headers and trying to make movement. Second half was a bit better. We got into the game a bit more. I think Xavi did make a few tweaks that made us better. He had Frenkie de Jong playing more advanced from that center back role. He had Gundogan push forward a bit, make him more of a creative player. And we got over the line in the end, but I still think the main purpose of why Barcelona played poorly today was the manager. I think Xavi has to take full blame today. The players are given the team the tactics and what they do, and it's up to the manager to make sure they perform well. They didn't. I don't think the players performed poorly today because of their individual mistake, individual touch. Maybe some players you could say did, but I think again came down more to the tactics and more so on how Cadiz set up as well. And they set up very, very strongly. They were very, very strongly defensive, and Barcelona had nothing going forward. We had a lot of midfielders who were making overlapping runs, and it was always narrow. You know, Cadiz were defending in a 4-4-2 low block, and they had their whole entire back four on the 18-yard box line. Nothing was on the green space on the wide side. Barcelona were coming in so narrow with Gundogan, Pedri, Gavi, Lewandowski. Out wide, Lamine Yamal was on the right by himself. On the left, it was Balde again, covering that whole entire left-hand flank. It's difficult for these players to, you know, perform in a way where the standard is so high, but the tactics set out are so nonchalant and so complete opposite of what you're supposed to do. So I don't really want to go on the players too much today. Again, they got the result based, I believe, in my opinion, on their individual quality, not more so on the tactics set out for that game, and that's why I'm giving them that 7 out of 10. I think if you're taking straight performance, taking away the 2 goals, you're probably looking at a 4, I would say, in my opinion. It was a very hard watch. I mean, I was pissed on how badly we played. When I get pissed on how badly we played, we did not play well. I mean, it takes a while for me to get like fuming over the performance, and that's how I felt today. I think the goals will overshadow that. I think that 65 to 90th minute performance will overshadow that, because I think the first hour and 10 minutes were absolutely dreadful. But again, most important thing, they got the job over the line, so I will give the team an overall team performance rating of a 7 out of 10. Let's now get into the players' individual player ratings. We'll start, of course, with the goalkeeper and the captain, Marc-Andre Ter Stegen. I'm going to give Ter Stegen a 7 out of 10. Of course, average is 6. I think Ter Stegen had a very quiet day at the office, came in for a couple crosses, punch out, catch out. I don't think he had ever had to make a proper save, of course, except for that 1v1 against Roger Marti in that first half. World-class save, and that's why I gave him that extra point. Apart from that, it's quiet. Another clean sheet for him. Easy day at the office, apart from, of course, from that world-class, and I mean world-class save against Roger Marti. And that's what it takes to be a big, a goalkeeper for a big club. You don't get that many moments. When those moments do come, though, uncondensely, you have to be there and you have to bounce, and Ter Stegen did that absolutely fantastically well, and for me, he will be getting a 7 out of 10. Next up, of course, is the defense, you could say, in front of him. Firstly, we'll go with the center backs. On the right hand side, it was Andreas Christensen, and I will be giving Christensen tonight a 6 out of 10. I thought he was alright, typical Christensen performance. He did have a few slip-ups. I remember Cadiz getting in behind in the second half. That came down to a Christensen mistake, more so that he let the player just absolutely walk past him. I think in terms of his output today, passing was completely fine. I think there were only 2 moments where he got caught in behind, and apart from that, I think it was, solid standard day at the office for Christensen, so I will be giving him a 6 out of 10. But of course, the center back partner on the left side was Frenkie de Jong, and I will be giving Frenkie de Jong tonight an 8 out of 10. He is just absolutely brilliant. He got the La Liga man of the match as well when the game ended. I mean, Xavi was speaking after the game, saying that he put Frenkie de Jong center back because of his ball output, and you can see why. His range of pass is ridiculous. The way he carried the ball from that center back position all the way to the final third was just immaculate, and he was just brilliant. He did pick up a yellow card, which I think was a fair yellow card. He wasn't behind, studs up, but he was adamant it wasn't a yellow card. We heard him say no falta in the match, but I think Frenkie de Jong put in an absolutely fantastic performance, and him being a captain, coming out of the match speaking, saying that, yeah, we didn't play well, but we get the win. That's the most important thing. That'll help us with our confidence. It shows how much of a leader he is on the pitch, and I think he didn't put a foot wrong today, apart from that foul behind where he got the yellow card, technically speaking. So overall, Frenkie de Jong, for me, brilliant performance, and he gets an 8 out of 10. Into the fullbacks now. Firstly, Jules Kounde on the right-hand side. I will be giving Jules Kounde tonight an 8 out of 10. And I'm going to edit him again for my man of the match. I think Kounde tonight was an unsung hero. I think what he did in the defense was absolutely sublime. Of course, in the first half, he had that chance in behind goal where he could have just tipped the pass to Ledesma, but Ledesma makes a good save. But I think Kounde was an unsung hero in this match. I think without him at the back, Cadiz would have scored. Whether it was the Darwin Messi chance, the Ramos chance, there were so many chances where Cadiz were just getting behind and Kounde comes to save the day. Just getting behind, Kounde clears it. Just getting behind, Kounde positions himself correctly and they shoot it wide, maybe for a corner or whatever the case may be, deflects off him. I thought Kounde was immaculate today, and it just shows how reliant our defense is on him. Of course, the same thing happened last season, that he got injured. That's how he crashed out the Champions League, so hopefully that's not the case this time. I'm worried that he's getting a bit burned out. Of course, played so many minutes last season, and today he technically played at right back for a bit, then played at right center back for a bit as well, so I hope he's not too upset for playing at full back. But I thought he's absolutely fantastic, and I will be giving him an 8 out of 10. Next fullback was, of course, Alejandro Balde. Poor man has to cover that whole entire left flank by himself. I'm going to give Balde a 6 out of 10. I think it was an average performance from him. I think he had a lot of good moments, but also a lot of bad moments. I think one of his good moments going forward was that cross down the left-hand side. In the first half, he had a little cheeky nutmeg as well, put the cross in. Second half, nice little feint down the left-hand side, puts in the cross, but he's putting a cross into no man's land. Got caught in behind quite a few times, and also that big chance for Roger Marti where Ter Stegen had to save him. That was an Alejandro Balde mistake. And then, of course, got subbed off. I think overall for Balde, Not fantastic, not poor. I think he was an average display from him, and I will be giving him a 6 out of 10. Now for the midfielders, firstly in the pivot was Oriol Romeu. I'm going to give Oriol Romeu a 7 out of 10. I think, again, very solid performance from him. He's, like Kounde, another unsung hero. He had a lot of defensive interceptions today, very controlling of the ball as well. Did not see him give the ball away once. I think his the ability to stop those counterattacks in behind from Cadiz were sublime as well. He had a lot of good tackles that look like they're probably dirty or a foul when they're not. They're absolutely clean tackles, and that's what you want in a defensive midfielder. You want that destroyer who's also, in the Barcelona sense, fantastic on the ball. Surprised he didn't have more long shots in this match. He had a lot of open area where he likes to ping one. I think he got one that was blocked, but again, for Romeu, very, very solid performance. I will be giving him a 7 out of 10 alongside İlkay Gundogan, who I also will be giving a 7 out of 10. Of course, got the assist for the inaugural Pedri goal. I think Gundogan today was fantastic. I think he held the ball very, very well. I don't remember him misplacing one pass. I wish he was a bit more clinical on the free kick opportunities, but I think when he's in the middle of the park, he had absolute control of that ball. I think Xavi mentioned after the match, he just never lost the ball once, not even once. His ball will go to another player, or he'll create chances inside the box. I think he was absolutely brilliant. He's, like Xavi said after the match, Barcelona DNA. He's a player who is just molded and built to play for Barcelona, and he showed that in the match today. He was absolutely brilliant. Again, for the amount of spaces and opportunity he had, I would have liked him to be a bit more clinical in the final third. I think he, of course, got one assist, which of course is fantastic, but I was expecting a bit more for Gundogan of his caliber. Of course, 4th best player in the world according to UEFA. One of the best midfielders in the world according to UEFA as well. So expectations are there, and I think Gundogan overall in this match did play very, very well, and I will be giving him a 7 out of 10. Next midfielder is, of course, Pedri Potter. Of course, got the goal that essentially secured Barcelona all 3 points. I'm still going to give Pedri a 7 out of 10. I think in that first half, he had a few magical moments that he likes to do when he pushes the ball down, does a little turn and spin. He's been complaining a lot to the referee, which I'm not really a fan of. He got a yellow card because of that. I think there's a lot of times where he's, his head gets hot and, things happen. Of course, got the goal. You got to give him points for that. And I think overall he did play well. I think some of his decision making in the final third wasn't the greatest, especially when, you have about 9 yellow shirts around you. It's difficult for you to do something, which I completely understand, but I feel like in some moments there could have been the better options that he didn't take. But I think, again, was there in the big moment and got us a goal, so I will be giving him a 7 out of 10. And the final midfielder was, of course, Pablo Gavi, who I'm going to give an average 6. He's number 6. He gets a 6. I think a 6 you could say is a bit generous. I didn't think he had a great day. Same with the complaining to the referee. That's how he got booked as well. I think he got subbed off because he was booked and he's kind of reckless a bit, so you don't want to risk getting sent off. Looked very upset when he got substituted. I don't understand why. I mean, this is Barcelona. Just because you sign a new deal on 100K a week does not mean you're an undisputed starter. Xavi was talking about it before the match, how there's a Gavi case, like, if he does not start games, he will put in a transfer request. I mean, if he's got that mentality, then he can leave. And I've said this before, when he renews his contract, I think Gavi will not be a Barcelona player for his whole entire career. I hope he is. World-class player for me. And a potential for world-class player. I think right now he's a very good player. But in this match, it wasn't his day for him. I think there are a lot of moments where, he was getting in behind, wasn't making the correct decision. I think his passing today was very, very good, better than it normally is. But when he's playing in that more advanced role, you expect a bit more flair, a bit more magic, where Pedri did show that a bit, and Gavi didn't, especially when you're getting in behind. Again, you have 9 yellow shirts swarming you, so I don't really blame him too much. Still getting the match fitness for him. This is his, only 100th minute of the whole entire season. Did not play preseason, got 45 minutes in the Joan Gamper, 10 minutes against Getafe, and now 60 minutes today, so he's still getting back into the things, the rhythm and stuff like that, so I won't, take it too much to heart, but I will be giving him a 6 out of 10. Into the forwards now. Firstly, Lamine Yamal as one of the forwards. I'm saying right wing back, right wing, right forward, wherever you want to call it. I'll give Lamine Yamal a 7 out of 10. Again, he was the flair player. He was the player that got you off your seat and something magical was going to happen. It was going to be from him. I think he started the game very lively, had that great shot that I think he should have scored that Ledesma made a brilliant save for. I think after that, though, he struggled a bit. A lot of times he's running down the byline, putting some crosses in. He never really took on defenders. The same thing that I keep saying about Raphinha as well, where I want him to take charge. He did have a few moments, though, where he tried to attempt some nutmegs here and there, but just didn't pull it off. But I think in that second half, he was very, very boring. Even though it's not his job to excite me. I mean, in the sense that he pick up the ball, cross it, run, corner kick, cross it, corner kick. It was very repetitive, so to speak. But I think he gave us that extra pace and extra flair on that right hand side, so I will give him a 7 out of 10. And finally, the last forward is, of course, Robert Lewandowski, and I have given him a 6 out of 10, which you could say is pretty generous. Look, got the assist for Ferran Torres' goal. You gotta give it credit where it's due there. The decline of Lewandowski is becoming quite evident. I mean, my God, he is having stinkers left, right, and center. He has to wake up at some point. I'm being generous with Lewandowski simply on the fact that I think his movement for the first goal that created space for Pedri, also the assist for the second goal, is me giving him an extra couple ratings. I think if I give it a rating just based on his performance, not based on his output, probably looking at a 4 or 5 if I'm being completely honest. I think he should have gotten a goal, the header in the first half, chance in the second half where he's just hopping over it, doesn't let it fly. It's worrying that I think the issue is that he's playing 2 difficult matches. Keep in mind, playing back-to-back 90 minutes against a low block defensive side where you have no space to even breathe. He's getting manhandled in the box. So it's a very difficult job for him. He's playing a graveyard shift because he's the only forward, the only outlook. You have Lamine Yamal playing right wing back, and you have no one on the left hand side. So it's a very difficult task for him to basically essentially get a shot on goal or create chances by himself. He's relying on Pedri and Gavi to track back and defend, and also have to, spread out and make more space so that way they can't really connect too well. So I think the system doesn't really suit Lewandowski. Alongside, I think he didn't play well either, but made some space for the first goal, got an assist for the second goal, so I'll be a bit generous and give him a 6 out of 10. Now for the substitutions, the subs were Abdi Izlazelu, Ansu Fati, Eric Garcia, Sergi Roberto, and Ferran Torres. I think all the subs came in, had somewhat of an impact. And Abdi down that left hand side initially played very well, had that great shot on target before we got the equalizer. Went down the right hand side, it was a threat. Ansu Fati down the middle, I think he was alright as well, was creating chances. When he got the ball, you thought something was going to happen of it. Got that volley, which I think hit on target, goes in. You're thinking that's probably goal of the season already. Eric Garcia came in, studied the defense, played at center back, then went to left back for the last 10 minutes as well. Roberto was okay going forward. I think defensively he had a howler. I mean, we're talking like Darwin Messi almost scored. Howler again. Thank God he keeps his hand behind his back, because if he doesn't, then there's almost 2 penalties that he gives away. But I think going forward he was alright. And Ferran Torres got a goal, of course. I think Ferran Torres was the best out of the substitutes. I think he came in, gave us a different outlook. He looked like, a new player. I think he needs to be given a chance, especially down that on the right wing, whether it's against Villarreal or against Osasuna coming up. I think he's a player that gives you a different outlook. He's had a fantastic preseason. I think he's got the most goals for Barcelona since preseason began until now as well. So I think he's been given that opportunity, whether you play him at striker and bench Lewandowski on the right hand side. I think he's done enough now to become a starter. He came in, was very threatening, was making byline runs, had some shots on target, was making dummy runs, so he looked very lively. He looked very, confident and ambitious in his ability, which of course, love to see that back. And again, he's playing against Cadiz, which is of course his favorite opponent. Again, overall the subs, I think they all came in, had a very, very strong impact, some more than others, but I think they were very great substitutions from Xavi. I think it's probably the only good thing he did. He used all 5 subs, and all 5 subs were impactful in some way, shape, or form. And last but not the least is, of course, the manager, Xavi Hernandez, who for the first time since he was appointed, I have given him a 1 out of 10, despite the fact we scored 2 goals, got a clean sheet, and got 3 points. This man, of course, I have there also Hernandez, who was on the touchline, because Xavi, as you can see on the right hand side, was suspended, was in the stands. If it wasn't for Barcelona having good players today, we would have lost. If it wasn't for Barcelona being at home, we would have drawn. If this was away Cadiz, this would have been 0-0 or 1-0 loss for Barcelona, 100%. Xavi's tactics for this match was shocking. If you go look at my reaction on Twitter to the starting lineup, I said, what is Xavi doing? He has Frankie de Jong at center back. He has only 1 forward again. He started all 5 of his midfielders. It makes no sense. The tactic in game, shocking. He went with a 3 at the back against a 5-4-1 low block counterattack part the bus side. He wants to, go forward with nothing, but also have everyone back just in case of counterattacks. Yes, we were still taken on the break. And the only thing he did good today was the substitutions, like I just mentioned. But again, they were very, very late. Ansu Fati and Abdi did not come in until like the 70th, I think 67th minute, somewhere around there. Shocking again. Just poor decisions all around for me for Xavi today, in my opinion. And I think that coming off the Getafe match, 0-0, you're thinking, okay, this match you cannot go for midfielders. You have to start with 2 wingers, go at them, and you know, you have to force the control in your hand. What does Xavi do? 3-5-2, chucks in 5 midfielders, 1 forward, and hopes for the best. Again, Alejandro Balde was the only person down that left-hand side. Go watch the game again. Everything's in the middle, and Lamine Yamal. That left-hand side is occupied to shit, and we do not exploit it. I promise you, if you started Lamine Yamal on the right, Ansu Fati on the left, any midfield combo you wanted, and any defense combo you wanted, we would have killed this game off before the 60th minute. It comes down to Xavi being stubborn. Oh, people are doubting my 4 midfield. I'm going to show them that it works. I kind of agree with him now. Starting 4 midfield against Villarreal makes sense next weekend because they're a strong side. They're going to be playing a 4-4-2 as well. You want to kind of have that midfield controlled. That's fine. And maybe the same thing for Osasuna as well because they're a good side away from home. But when you're playing bottom of the half table teams at home, you go for it. You don't be conservative and start only 1 forward who's a bloody 16-year-old who's already got more pressure than, you know, like, it's ridiculous. So hopefully he learns from this. I said this against Getafe, but he didn't. I'm really sick of this 4 midfield when it comes to facing lower opposition sides. So he needs to change up. You've got 5 forwards, use them. Don't be using only your 5 midfielders. It does not make sense. And I'm not saying keep it simple. Yes, you can, you know, experiment and try different things with a 3-back, but play the players based on the position on the pitch. Don't be playing Frankie de Jong center back because you don't trust Eric Garcia. Don't be playing, you know, Abdi left wing back because you don't trust Alonso, who is actually a wing back. You know what I mean? It's just back-to-back poor decisions from Xavi, and that's probably why I'm upset. You can say this is a reactionary rating. I think theoretically you probably can give him a 5 or a 4 and get away with it, but I'm very upset with the decision from Xavi, and hopefully, I pray, they just end up learning from this experience. So that was a match review for Barcelona versus Cadiz in La Liga. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. But the main thing I want to of course is your thoughts on the performance, your player ratings, and your manager rating as well. And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Take care, and Forza Barca. Yeah.